Alright, good morning. I want to do the intro, but I think I want coffee first. Hey guys, if you're new, my name is MrNapoles. I'm a 4th grade teacher in California, and here I vlog the realities of being an elementary school teacher. If you want more bite-sized videos, I post this on Instagram, where I post like tips and just resources and things I do in my classroom. So in today's vlog, I'm going to cover a question I got on YouTube. It's this one right here. It was too difficult to answer in a concise reply in a comment, so I figured I'd cover it in a vlog for, just to cover it in detail. It's middle of summer school. Today's Monday, and it's very chill compared to regular school. So I figure, just want to take you along and answer a question that could be useful for people. Today we have PE, we got rotations, and dismissals at 1 o'clock. So it's not like my usual school year where when I vlog, I'll take you along like what I'm planning and just a lot more in depth of what I'm doing. There's more instruction and more structure at that point. In summer school, it's very different. So I'll take you along anyways. All right, so my background, my story. I didn't want to become a teacher. That was something that was never in the cards for me, or never something that I wanted to do growing up. When I went to college, I was trying to become a music producer. I graduated from college with a music production degree. I had a band, and I was, that was something I wanted to do. But one of my band buddies, he was like, hey, I work at a school, we need someone to play piano. I needed a job, because music wasn't paying the bills very well. I was around 21 at this time, and I didn't know how to play piano. So posting was on a Saturday morning, and I was like, all right, job interviews Monday. Let me learn piano real quick. So I knew how to play guitar and bass and drums. Taught myself piano in a couple days, learned how to play like Mary Had a Little Lamb and Twinkle Twinkle. Went on Monday, this teacher who worked there, she's like, all right, I'm the site liaison for this after school program. What's your name? I introduced myself. She's like, let me see you play piano. So I go over to the grand piano. I'm like, all right, I wonder how in detail she's going to be. Does she play piano? So I show up and I play Mary Had a Little Lamb. She's like, great, you have the job. When can you start? And I was like, all right, cool. So I get the job, and I am teaching piano to kids. Had very little experience working with students at this point. I just, played guitar my whole life, and then played, music and instruments. So then I'm doing this job, and then there's this kid. Never forget him. It's Christmas time, and I'm playing, and he looks up at me. He's like, MrNapoles, I wish you were my dad. I'm like in my mid-20s or my early 20s, and I'm like, what? And he's like, I wish you were my dad. And at that point, I realized like the impact that male mentors have in education, because this kid had a stepdad, but like I just was a regular. At least my morals and who I am, I granted him respect. I talked to him, asked him about his interests, and I built a relationship with him, built rapport with him. And I spoke with him, and I just, granted, I wasn't a teacher at this point, so I didn't know the academics behind this part. I just knew the after school part. It was fun. We were playing music. But I talked with them about their weekends and just, their interest. And I think he never really had someone that did that valued his input. And that moment stuck with me for years. Fast forward to 3 or 4 years, at this point I was doing construction in my dad's company because, I had to quit that after school program. It was only 15 hours a week. I needed a full-time job to pay bills and pay rent. So I had to leave that job and become work construction with my dad. And that was a very tiring experience, but it wasn't something I wanted to do. So I'm kind of lost in life, figuring out what is it I want to do, because I went to school for music, and it's cool, but it's a lot of just, my heart and passion wasn't in it as initially it was my, late teens. So then I thought about when I taught music, it was fulfilling. That's the best word. It was like a calling. I loved the joy it brought me. The pay wasn't great, but the joy was amazing. So I thought to myself, like, maybe I want to, I met my wife at this time, we were dating, and she was like, what do you want to do? Like, if we're going to, take this, consider marriage, like, we should figure out, or I should figure out, what career I want to get into. So my wife, thankfully, she kind of like, well, why don't you do teaching? Like, you liked it, you talked about it so much, like, maybe consider it. So I went to school to become a teacher. I went to get my master's program. My credential was bundled up in one. And then I figured I should probably make sure I like this. So I became a substitute teacher. And I recommend, tip number one for anyone considering education, become a substitute teacher, because with that, you will figure out if it's for you and what grades you like. What, do you gravitate towards? Because every personality is different. People are great at kindergarten. I could not do that. People are great at high school. People are great at middle school. My best friend growing up, he could do middle school. It was something he enjoyed. I could never do that. I personally, don't want to ever do that or touch that. But I love, elementary, especially upper grade elementary, 4, 5, 6. I feel like I could do those grades. I've been teaching 4th grade for about 8 years now. Taught a 4 or 5 combo. I've worked with 6th graders outside of the classroom, never in the classroom, but I feel like those grades I could do. I could probably do 3rd grade, but let me get into that later. So back to becoming a teacher. I finished my credential program. I like subbing. My first day ever as a sub was a kindergarten classroom. I could do it. It was just, I couldn't do it long term. But it was a cool experience. And then I subbed different grades, 2nd grade, 3rd grade. But I kind of like got my footing and said, this is kind of nice. And then when I had teachers saying things like, what's your number? If I'm ever absent, I would love to call you. That made me feel like, okay, I'm a good sub. Looking back now, whenever a teacher asks you, like, do you have a contact information? I need to sub for future, jobs. That's a sign that you're doing a great job. If no one ever asks for that, then it might be a sign that, you did a terrible job. Because I've seen subs who we leave on a secret list called the do not call back list. It might not be secret, but like basically it's the subs that do a terrible job. They say, oh yeah, your kids were great. And then it cuts to like your kids were like, no, we were off the walls, we were loud. Because one person's expectations of great might not be yours. So as a sub, when you, I'll probably do a tips for sub video later on, but like, that's a good idea of when you follow the sub plan and you do a great job, managing a classroom, then teachers want you to come back and do their jobs going forward. So becoming a sub is a key part of that, figuring out if you can handle that or getting experience, because the best teacher's experience. The stuff I learned in college, it kind of helped me, but it's like learning how to drive a car without stepping behind the wheel. Like, where everything is, the ignition and, everything. But when you actually are in the driver's seat and you learn on the fly, what do you do when it rains? What do you do when it's bumpy road? What do you do when you get a flat tire? Like, that experience only comes from, that knowledge only comes from experience. That's just how it is with education. So becoming a sub, the more you do it, the better you get. Asking teachers, getting mentor teachers is very helpful as well. So let's fast forward to getting the job. All right, so I graduated, got my credential for teaching. It was a bundle in one program, which was nice. Still paying it off though, but it was nice to save time. It was about a year and a half. I got my master's in education and my credential. This program, most programs usually have this. So check out your local one if you're considering becoming a teacher. There is a job posting. The website we use is called edjoin.com. Not sure if it's in other countries, but that's the one that we use. And job postings are there for sub teachers or for like positions for districts. So I look up and there's one in a neighboring city and then also one in the city that I was learning how to become at the after school program that I worked at. And I applied for both of them and got 2 job interviews in the same day. So I showed up, and I think I have a picture. I might post it right here. That's how I dressed up for my job interview. Suit, tie, ready to go. And I mean, it looks professional, and I recommend that for a job interview. Don't show up like right now. I'm wearing a t-shirt and it's shorts. Let me go back. I got my shorts on, right? Shorts and my tennis shoes, and I'm chilled out. But it's summer school, different environment. Wouldn't go this way dressed to a job interview. for becoming a teacher, especially right out the gates, no experience at all. So, definitely a tip, dress professional for the job interview. Then I show up at the interview, and this one I didn't really want to work for. I was like, this district, like, I don't really know. And I applied for it. And the position was for a 5-6 combo. And if you don't know, a combo class is basically half the class is one grade and half the class is a different grade. So it was a smaller class size. I want to say it was like 21 students. 11 were 4th grade, and then the rest were 6th grade. Or half were 5th and half were 6th. And it was a very odd class. There was like 3 sets. There were 3 twins in there, or 3 students who were all siblings. 2 were twins and 1 was a brother. And it was just a grab bag of like the class. And also it was a very, very far away from the school. School I currently work at, but it was very away from everyone else. But this was like September 15th. There's already a teacher there who's a resident sub, the sub on site, and she was working that site, and she had a very little experience as well. So the kids were already set in their ways. And I didn't know this looking back. So I'm showing up and I meet the kids and I say, I'm wearing my suit and tie. I'm meeting them all and talking to them. And I meet the principal, and, very established, respectable man, and just, one of the best principals I ever worked for. So I'm monitoring the campus, and he looks at me and he's like, so do you want the job? And I'm like, and I didn't want this. I wanted to teach, 2nd grade, 3rd grade at the time. Like, that was where my heart set. That was my heart was set. And I was like, yeah, I'll take it. I don't know what it was. I liked the way he handled himself. I liked the school. I met the kids. I was like, I could teach these kids. These aren't like the scary 6th graders I thought that I was used to. And I took it. So I didn't even do the second interview in the neighboring city, which is 20 minutes away from my current school. So I just said, hey, I'm not going to show up. I got the job somewhere else. I started Monday. That was a Friday. Came back Monday, and for 2 weeks, I was like shadowing this resident sub, seeing how she managed the classroom, getting to know the kids, getting a routine, because she had experience in the classroom. I had 0 at this point, besides subbing. And I was learning how things go, and eventually after that, she left the classroom, and it was my, classroom. And that was just definitely an eye-opener for anyone in education. It's a wild experience to just be completely alone in a classroom managing young people on your own. Yeah, you do have help, but you have to leave the classroom and ask for help, and you're fully immersed in that experience. And the best analogy I can think of is going to school to become a basketball player, and then you study how to dribble the ball, how to shoot it, and then boom, you're in a professional NBA game with seasoned veterans all around you, and the spotlight's on you, and you have to play at that level. And it's kind of scary because lives are at stake. These are kids. This isn't like me in a simulated environment. This is like people's lives, and if I do a bad job, they don't learn. A year of their life is wasted because someone else was inexperienced in that classroom. So just food for thought on a ramble tangent there. Kind of a crazy thing to think about for education. So that's me getting the job and then starting. I've kind of been rambling, and hopefully it's been entertaining for you, or at least educational, but I gotta get my classroom set up. It's 8:12 and school starts at 8:15, or no, 8:35. So I gotta get my stuff set up while I'm talking. So I got the job, and I love the culture of the school. The classroom was great. I never regretted it. I never felt that regret in terms of I chose the wrong school or I chose the wrong job. Throughout the experience, you learn a lot. You just gain knowledge, and you try out different theories, and you meet different students. And it was just, it was cool. It worked out the way it was supposed to, I felt like. So that was my background getting into it, how I became a teacher. That was my first crazy year. Started a month and a half into it. And I enjoyed it. I'm gonna get my classroom set up, set the slideshow there. Students have PE this morning. They go for about 45 minutes, so it kind of gives me time to plan and prep. Today we are doing rotations. We're going over restating the question and answering it. We have 5 days left of summer school, and they're working towards a marble party. They're very close to get it, and then we'll probably start planning for it on Friday, the last day of summer school. So I'll vlog that day as well. I'm gonna do 2 vlogs this week, and yeah, so let's get started. Okay, it's 8:36. Here's our schedule. Let me turn it around so you can see it. So that's today. They're at PE right now, and then they'll get back around, typo. They'll get back at 9:10, and then we have rotation 1. We're gonna go over writing. Let me actually fix this before I talk about it. Okay, so 9:10 they'll get back. We're not doing a narrative today. We're going over races, which is responding to questions, a strategy for writing. I'm teaching 3 rotations, so it's my first rotation, my homeroom, my group that I take attendance with every day, and then they'll rotate, get my second group, my colleague students come over here, and then I get her 15 students, and then they go to recess with me, and then we get back and I do a different group of students, and then they get sent back to their classroom, and then we go to lunch, and then we come back for enrichment, which we usually do art or just some fun activity, usually classroom community, and then we'll be dismissed at 1 o'clock. So that's my schedule for today. It's pretty chill summer school schedule. Like I said, when the vlogs start more in the fall, I'll be going in detail about what I do, whether it's math, reading, writing, social studies, all that. So stay tuned for that in the coming months. So usually when students are at PE, I reserve it for like planning. I already planned today. I'll probably get some stuff to plan for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday is going to be a classroom party. That's what we're going for. There's a very, very, very high chance they'll get it. This group's amazing. I love working with them. It's a smaller class size, but at the same time, like, they're just a great group of kids, and the culture is just great so far. So looking forward to having a celebration at the end of summer school with them, and seeing which ones I actually get in the coming school year, because this is incoming 4th graders, and seeing which classes they'll be in the regular school year. All right, I planned, kids are back, gonna start teaching. That's them. I got 30 minutes to go get lunch, maybe 28 minutes right now. It is extremely hot. I forgot those windshield covers in my car. I'm wearing shorts today, and the seat just feels warm. Feels very warm. So gonna go grab some Waba Grill. It's my favorite spot. It's near my school. And then I'm going to scarf it down as fast as possible. All right, I am really hungry, and I'm gonna eat in the parking lot here at Waba Grill. Wish I was sponsored, so Waba Grill, if you're in the market for a YouTube sponsorship, I would love you. I eat here all the time. I requested my tofu to be diced up today, which is a first, and it makes it easier because I'm always cutting it up. But I'm gonna eat because I have 17 minutes to scarf this whole bowl down and head back to school, which is only 2 minutes away. All right, I finished my food. I got 3 minutes to make it back. Yeah. Someone took my spot, but I am here with 2 minutes to spare. Now the problem is I have to use the restroom before class starts, so. It's 1 o'clock. 1:08 to be exact. Dismissal was at 1. Kids are all gone. I had about 15 kids today. In the morning it was like 8, and then a lot showed up as the day went about. Let's go over what we did today real quick. So we went over this article, well, more like a passage, and then I taught them how to restate their answer to a text. So we did that. It was pretty good. Some got it quicker than others, and some really needed a lot of assistance. But we were just talking about how to like circle important items from the text and then restating it in a paragraph. So I did it multiple times. Initially, when we started doing rotations, I loved it. I love doing the same thing over and over and over. But now it feels like Groundhog Day. I mean, it has pros and cons. Like, it's nice for planning, it's very easy, but in terms of like for myself, I feel like I need variety and change. And I'm thankful that I'm not doing middle school where we do that kind of stuff all the time. So 4 more days of this, then my summer break officially starts, and looking forward to that. So now it's 1 o'clock. I'm gonna work until about 3:30. I usually work on like my business stuff, so I'll work on like TPT. I got a few brand deals I need to knock out, like the contracts and just getting the video storyboard done, and a lot of like other stuff that's not really teacher stuff, but more of like my own like business that I'm doing. But
But yeah, I'm gonna work on that for 2 hours, then head home. All right, it's 3:10. I'm gonna wrap this vlog up. To recap and talk about, is teaching worth it? I think it is. Right now, personally, I'm in a good place. When I think about teaching, I feel like it's worth it to me. Thankfully, I've been doing social media stuff for a year, and I have other like avenues and streams of income that I could walk away from teaching and be okay. But right now, coming to my 10th year, I love it. I enjoy it. I still have a passion for it. I love working with the kids. I love help building their self-esteem and motivation to do things. Things I don't like, politics, sometimes the way that other people handle things that affect my own decisions and students that I work with on a daily basis. I heard a very powerful quote, and it says that teachers don't leave because of the students, they leave because of the adults. And it's powerful because, you could be an amazing educator and be in a system that is terrible for you. Like that's kind of the situation. I know it's like that in all industries, but with education, it's pretty tough, so just something to think about if you're going into education and you're considering, that avenue. Being a sub's great, finding a good school to work at, asking around, networking, meeting people and saying, hey, what school do you work for? Do you like the principal? How are the other educators? Does the team work well together? Things like that. So right now I'm in a good place coming to my 10th year. I think it's worth it. I love it. There are some moments when I am stressed out and burnout, and I think personally, like there's other ways that you got to like fill your cup and just make sure that you're ready to go to work. For me personally, it's eating good food, spending time with my family, and then watching movies that I love, or shows. Like I watched Game of Thrones yesterday and The Boys on Amazon Prime, and I was just, I felt good. I was working so much and my mind is just like exhausted from doing creative stuff. Because summer school's chill, but like I'm doing other things. So for me personally, doing those things that make me happy and bring me joy and kind of make me escape from the stresses of work, I recommend that. So whatever it is for you, whether it be video games, working out, fitness, going out, whatever, just, balance is important for education. So I wasn't to film the rest of my night, but I kind of want to edit here and just kind of turn off the camera. I'm going to turn this off in a moment and then clean these desks and organize things and then head home. And I'll edit this vlog later this week. And yeah, if you have any more questions or comments, I love to answer questions, in a video format. It's way easier than typing a comment. So take care, have a good night, and see you next time.